from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is the Valley Today.
We have new information this morning on a burning car that was abandoned in the middle of the road in South Fargo. Police now say a homeless man ran away from the vehicle after apparently dropping a cigarette in the car. Firefighters were called just after 9:30 last night to Fichtner and West Track Drive. A short time later, Cass County deputies found a man pounding on a door at a nearby county jail, saying he was high on meth. He told them his car was on fire and that he was running from police. Police say 38-year-old Garrick Martin said he was driving down the road using meth and smoking cigarettes when the interior of his car started on fire. They say Martin left his car in the middle of the road and ran away. He was arrested for reckless endangerment. Empty parking lots at West Acres Mall should be a thing of the past come late this morning. And things inside are going to seem a little different for shoppers. The mall will be open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. But only a small number of stores will open their doors to begin with. The anchors like Macy's, Best Buy, and Crave will have separate hours. As for shoppers, everyone is welcome, but kids 16 and under do have to come with an adult. Furniture has been taken out and several hand sanitizing stations have been placed throughout the mall. For a full list of what to expect with the reopening of West Acres, just check out this story on our VNL News app. And it's finally Friday, so let's get a check of that all-important weekend forecast as we check in with meteorologist Lisa Green.
Good morning. We are starting off today with some conditions that are pretty quiet, but it's also very cold. We've been talking and warning you about the frigid mornings that we're going to be facing. And this morning, everybody here, aside from Park Rapids, is below or at the freezing mark. So any of those flowers that you planted, any pots you put out, I'm hoping that you took measures to protect those last night. We're at 32 degrees right now in Fargo. It's 29 in Grand Forks and only 23 degrees in Langdon right now. So pretty cold out there for all of us here to start off our Friday morning. And we still have an hour or two left of cooling before we start to warm things back up with the sunrise. Wind speeds are out of the north. We're at 5 to 15 miles per hour in most cases, and that continues to just overall create that cooler air for us. The wind is pretty quiet, and we'll continue to see some good clear skies here this morning as well as we are starting off our day. Here's a look at the latest satellite radar map. It's pretty quiet. We don't have much to show you here this morning. We're looking at some quiet conditions, but again, we have to put up with the cold here. So by 6 o'clock, more places in the Southern Valley dipping into the 20s as well. And this is right around sunrise. So after this point, we'll start to warm things up as we work our way through the morning. So by 9 o'clock, we're working our way back into the 30s, and we have some 40s. Not everybody there, but we try to get to the 40s by lunchtime with mostly sunny skies here for your Friday. So beautiful, but really quite chilly. You're going to need that extra layer and maybe that heavier coat. Maybe not necessarily the full winter parka and gear, but definitely an extra layer needed, especially if you're going to be outside for any length of time this morning. And then as we head into the afternoon, here's a look at those temperatures. We struggle, but we get to 50 in parts of eastern North Dakota, but a lot of us up north and to the east are stuck in the 40s. So we're looking at some cool weather here for your Friday. Now heading into this evening, we start to see a few clouds moving through, temperatures into the pretty cold temperatures into the early morning hours on Saturday morning. And yes, that blue is some snow showing up on our forecast. And the best bet for this is going to be in the Devil's Lake area to pick up some snow with temperatures at freezing around the time that it's falling. That's where we're more likely to see the potential for some accumulation. Maybe not so much on the roads, but on those grassy surfaces, on those colder surfaces. If you park a vehicle out overnight, you may have to brush off some snow there. And watch what happens at noon. This starts to transfer eastward, and Grand Forks may be getting in on this as well. Notice our temperature at that point is above freezing, so it's not going to be necessarily sticking as much, but something to watch out for. On the southern end of this, it's more on the rainy side, but as we head further into the day, we could see some of this change over to snow in some of those spots. So bottom line is Saturday is going to be a messy one that will feature some wintry weather in May. So we're going to talk more about that, take a look at how much snow we can expect to see, and also, of course, a look at that 7-day planner coming up in just a few minutes.
I don't want to talk about snow, but I do want to be prepared. So thank you, Lisa. Officials are looking to identify COVID-19 hotspots in and around Fargo, which has had more confirmed cases of the virus than any other community in the state. With the rate of COVID-19 cases and deaths in the Fargo area continuing to dwarf the rest of the state, Governor Doug Burgum is calling on local representatives to help slow the spread. Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney is part of the newly created Red River Valley COVID-19 Task Force, and he says he believes the city and county can, in his words, test our way out of this. North Dakota health officials are confirming 49 new cases of COVID-19. Cass County has the highest number of confirmed cases now, totaling 709. Grand Forks County is the second highest, with 275 cases. In North Dakota, the number of positive cases now sits at 1,371. No new deaths are being reported, keeping that total at 31. 601 people have recovered from the virus. In Minnesota, numbers have now risen to more than 9,000 cases. 786 more cases are being identified, bringing the total now to 9,365. 508 people have died, an increase of 23 from the day before. Of those deaths, 407 were living in nursing homes or assisted living facilities. 5,308 are listed as recovered. You can find a complete breakdown of the numbers on our VNL News app. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and state officials have a new battle plan to protect Minnesotans living in long-term care facilities. It calls for expanding testing for residents and workers, providing on-site troubleshooting and personal protective equipment, ensuring adequate staffing levels, and partnering with state agencies as well as local and regional public health organizations to reduce transmission and limit exposure.
The good news is, if you do this right and the preparation that we have now, the second wave we can do a lot more about. Because if we were sitting where we're sitting today, first part of February, even the middle of February, the trajectory of this thing is different. And I think that's what changes.
The Minnesota Department of Health says 407 of the state's 508 recorded COVID-19 deaths happened in cases at long-term care or assisted living facilities. The largest coal-fired power plant in North Dakota is shutting down and will replace most of its energy with new wind farms in Minnesota. Great River Energy says its Coal Creek station in west central North Dakota will be shuttered in the second half of 2022. The plant that has operated for more than 40 years employs 260 workers. The North Dakota Stockmen's Association says there's some old-fashioned cattle rustling going on, and it's now telling ranchers to keep a close eye on their herds. There have been reports of butchered cattle in Dunn and McKenzie counties. The Stockmen's Group is offering $14,000 in a reward for anyone with information leading to the arrest of anyone stealing, butchering, or shooting livestock.